right, everybody, we are learning some more about telling time on an analog clock, and I'm really excited because we're moving on from just on the hour, the o'clock. Straight up, now tell me. We are going to be adding in, what does a clock look like when we are on the half hour, like 2:30 or 6:30 or 8:30. It looks a little different, and there's a couple different rules that the hands on the clock follow, so we really want to make sure you guys are paying really close attention. Not only do you need to know what we learned yesterday, but you're also going to need to know what we're teaching you today, because your worksheet has a mixture of o'clock and then 30 minutes, like 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, half hour past.
Yeah, so you said half past. Half of what?
Half of an hour, half hour.
Oh, so how many minutes are in an entire hour?
Great question, glad you asked. There are, see the 60 up here? 60 minutes are in an hour. Now, by the time you're done with second grade, the world expects you to just know that, which is why 60 isn't on the clocks. It's just on our teaching clock, because we're teaching you guys. But there are 60 minutes for the hour hand, or for the minute hand, to get all the way around, back up to the top. Okay, so when we're at a half hour, half of an hour is only 30 minutes. It's half of 60. And you know, it kind of cuts the clock in half if you go from 60 minutes, or from 0 down to 30 minutes. Because you know what happens? You know how the hand is straight up?
Yeah.
At the o'clock?
Now tell me.
Now it goes straight to the bottom. Straight down, now tell me.
I don't know.
That's not a song.
Works.
But the hour hand actually goes straight down to the 6 o'clock. It's pointed directly straight down. The long minute hand is, the long minute hand, when it's at 30 minutes past. Miss Marquardt, something happened to the hour hand when you did that.
Weird, it like moved over.
It moved on its own.
But I wanted to show 12:30.
Well, it just so happens that you are showing 12:30.
Oh, but the hour hand is not on the 12.
I have a secret for you.
Okay.
And you guys need to listen, because this is so important, okay? As the minute hand starts to move around the clock, this long hand, the hour hand slowly starts moving towards the next hour. Okay? And so the closer it gets to the next hour, the closer the hour hand gets to the next hour as well. So when we are halfway through the hour, the hour hand is halfway between the current time and the hour that it's going to be when we get to the next hour.
I see. So they're both moving all the time.
Yes.
It's just the minute hand likes to move like really
way
faster. And then the hour hand is like,
yes. But I really need you to listen to this.
Okay.
Sorry. It gets confusing for kids because they're looking at this hour hand and they're like, I don't know if it's 12 or if it's 1. How do I know?
Yeah.
I have a trick.
Okay. I love tricks.
So when the hour hand is between two numbers, it is always representing the number before it, okay? You don't talk about that next number until it's on or past it. Okay? So if it is between two numbers, you go to the previous number. It's still 12 o'clock, okay? It's 12:30 now. Okay? Can you show me what 1:30 would look like?
Sure.
Let's get to 1 o'clock. Move that hour hand up to straight up. Now we're at 1 o'clock. The hour hand is pointing directly at the 1, and the minute hand, the long hand, is straight up, and it's 1 o'clock. Now, I want you guys to watch. As Miss Marquardt gets closer to 1:30, watch the hour hand. Watch what it does. I want you to see that this hour hand is also slowly moving. She's getting closer to 30, and this is now, look at that hour hand is now directly between 1 and 2. It's half past 1. It's halfway in between 1 and 2, Miss Marquardt.
That's pretty cool.
1:30. Yeah. It's not 2:30 because that hour hand didn't get to 2 yet. We're not there yet. We're still in the 1.
Okay. So it's almost always, except when we were here, it's always the smaller number.
The smaller number, yeah. It's hard to say that when you're here because it's the number before it, but it's the smaller number. If I'm in between 4 and 5, it's still 4:30.
Okay.
If I'm in between 9 and 10, it's going to be 9:30. It's the number before the smaller number.
So if they're number neighbors, meaning they're next to each other on the timeline or on a number line, then it's the smaller number.
It is.
Okay.
Except when you're here.
Yeah, those aren't number neighbors.
Nope.
So
right.
That's one way to figure it out. So is this trick where it's in between those two numbers, that's going to work every time it's 30 minutes past the hour?
Yes. Every time.
All right, I want to try like 3:30.
Okay.
I just want to test and make sure
Let's
you're
see.
you're being truthful with the kids.
All right, let's see. She's at
So,
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
Straight up.
on the hour. Okay.
Okay, she's at 2:30.
Ooh.
In between 2 and 3, so we're still at the 2:30. Up to 3 o'clock, straight up, pointing directly at the 3. Now let's make it to 3:30. Our minute hand is straight down, and our hour hand is directly between the 3 and the 4. It's 3:30. 3:30. We're still in the 3s. We have not yet made it to the 4s.
All right, I think we can do this. So again, that minute hand is the long hand. When it's straight up, it's o'clock.
Oh,
And when it's straight down, which we don't have a song for,
it's 30.
30.
Half past.
All right, are you ready to take a look at the worksheet?
I think I am.
Okay, deep breath, everyone. And make sure you let it out. Okay.
All right, I see a mixture of long hands pointing straight up at o'clock and some of them pointing straight down at the 6, half past. Want to start us off on a review over there?
I would love to. All right, I'm going to take in everything that I've learned into my brain, and I'm going to start by looking at the hour hand. That's the short hand. And it is pointing exactly at the 3, which makes me think it's probably 3 o'clock, but I'm going to double check my minute hand. My minute hand is straight up.
Now tell me. Okay.
Good job. Okay, so I remember when we need to write it on a digital clock, the last worksheet that we had yesterday had the colon already written for us.
Yes.
This one doesn't. We have to draw it in. So I'm going to start with the hour, which is 3. And then I'm going to put the colon before I put those 2 zeros to represent o'clock. So this first clock is showing 3 o'clock.
All right. I'm looking and I'm seeing that we are not on o'clock anymore, but I'm ready for it. I'm feeling like I've retained all that information you gave me.
Okay.
I'm going to tackle this and I'm going to defeat it.
All right, I'm going to hand over the special marker.
Thank you.
Do your best.
Unite me.
I'm here if you need me.
Okay. Let's start with the hour hand because it's important to start with the hour hand. And it's the shorter hand. And I'm noticing that it's not quite on the 10. It's looking like it's in between the 10 and the 11. So I know if the hour hand is pointing in between two numbers, we have to go back to the smaller number.
Yes.
If they're number neighbors, the smaller number, it's still, we have not gotten to 11 yet. It's still 10. So I'm going to write the 10. And I'm going to put my colon, my 2 dots. And then I'm going to go look at my long minute hand and see where that guy is. It looks like he's pointing straight down. And I know when it is straight down, it's half past, which is 30 minutes past. It's 10:30.
Very nice.
Woo-hoo.
You took
Yes.
like everything that you've learned
I
in the
did.
past 2 days and you put it into
I
one
did.
problem.
I did it. I feel
It's
good
really
about
good.
it. I'm really excited.
I wouldn't mind doing one more,
Okay.
just because I like them.
All right.
I like these kids. All right. And
Do
I
you-
want to hear you sing.
Do you? I feel like this one's easy, and maybe we should pull it up and do a harder one. Something we taught them today.
You really like them. All right.
I'm pretty nice.
What if I were to do like number 7?
Oh!
What? Should I?
I think you should.
Okay. All right. Problem solving. Real world. Who knew? There's clocks in the real world. All right. It says Amy's music lesson begins at 4 o'clock. Okay. Draw hands on the clock to show this time.
Oh.
Not too bad. We kind of did this yesterday.
Yeah.
We just needed to read the problem that went along with it. So the hour is 4, and that is the short hand. So when it's o'clock, it's directly at the 4. So I'm going to draw a short hand with an arrow right on the 4. And o'clock means
Straight up.
Straight up. Now draw your hand up to the top. I just made that up.
You did.
Yeah, it didn't really rhyme, but
It's
I
okay.
tried.
You're
All
not.
right.
You're not a poet, and that's all right.
No, I'm not. I'm a 2nd grade teacher. And they
Well,
don't
that looks
pay me
good.
to sing, so
Do we want to take a look at the back?
we probably should.
Okay.
So
Sweet. So we're going to be drawing
Alrighty.
on the clock hands. This is where we should do 2 of these with them.
okay.
The bottom, is the
So
opposite?
the bottom they have to write.
Maybe we do 1 and 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's start here. If I threw the marker, do you think you could catch it?
I don't know. Let's see.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
You pick one. Which one do
I'm
you want
gonna
to
do this one because it's really close to me.
I like your style.
So this is 10:30. So we want you guys to remember something. When it's half past the hour, when it's 30 minutes after the hour, that short hour hand is going to be pointing in between the 2 hour numbers. So let's talk about that. 10 o'clock is the hour. I'm not gonna point my short hand directly at the 10. I only do that when it's exactly 10 o'clock. No, no, no. I'm gonna point it because it's half past the hour. I'm gonna have it pointing halfway, do that better, halfway in between the 10 and 11. And it's shorter, so I'm not gonna go all the way out. I'm only gonna go halfway out and then halfway between. Now, 30, the long hand, the minute hand, is gonna point straight down at the 6, and I'm gonna have my arrow touching the 6 because it's my long minute hand. So this is what it's gonna look like. So we want you guys to remember that. When you're doing 7:30, your shorthand should be pointed in between the 7 and the 8. It's in between the number that it says and the next number. Where do you think the 3:30, the hour hand's gonna be pointed? In between what and what?
It's hard because sometimes I get confused if it needs to go between the 2 and the 3 or between the 3 and the 4.
It needs to be between the number that it says and the next number.
Okay, so that means it has to be halfway between the 3 and the 4.
Halfway between the 3 and the 4.
That makes sense because 30 minutes has already gone by.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be 2 and
Yeah.
3. It would have to be between the 3 and the 4.
This is definitely trickier than drawing the hands on is definitely trickier than just writing the time when you're looking at the hand. So these
is.
problems are probably going to be the hardest ones you do today, but we want you to remember whatever number it says here, it's pointing in between that number and the next number. So use this as your example when you do the rest of them on the page, okay? Let's take a look at the bottom now. This is easier.
Okay.
So we're gonna look at the clocks and print the time in digital form underneath. They have already written the hands, they've done the hard part. Now we just need to turn it into the hour, a colon, and then the minutes. All right, so
Okay.
why don't you do the first one for us?
All right. I'm noticing, I always look at the hour hand first, and I'm noticing that it is somewhere between the 1 and the 2, but it has not got to the 2 yet, which tells me the hour is still 1 o'clock. So I'm going to put a 1, and I'm going to put my colon. I'm going to come back and double check where that minute hand is. So I know we're on the hour of 1, and the minute hand is pointing straight down. That tells me if it's on the 6 that it's 30 minutes past the hour, which means that our time is 1:30.
Yep.
All right, and it looks like they need to do the same thing
Yep.
for the next 2 problems. And then down below, this is just a reminder, there isn't anything that you need to write on
Yeah.
those lines, just reminding you how to write digital time.
And one other thing, your parents all know how to read an analog clock, so they will be a great resource for you if you finish watching our video and you're still a little confused and need help. So take what we've taught you today, do your best, and if you have trouble, your parents are definitely going to know how to help you on today's page. So
Yeah.
good luck. We'll see you guys tomorrow.